And then after they all sit down, you rest, and tomorrow morning we'll meet. So this farmer, he tries his best to make all the camels sit down. Next day morning, the sadhu comes. He says, how was last night? He said, I did not get a little bit sleep at all. You told me to make this camel sit down. I tried my best. Some camels, they sat down on their own. Some camels were standing and I helped them sit down. Some camels, no matter how hard I tried, they never sat down. And then somehow I did many things. Then suddenly the camel that I already made sit starts to stand up again. In this way, my whole night was spent, running from one camel to another camel to another camel. Then the sadhu turns towards him and says, this is life. We face so many problems in life. They come. You ask for it or you don't ask for it, they come your way. But he says, some problems, even without you doing anything, they will solve by themselves. You just have to wait. Some problems, you have to try. Just like the camels that stood up and you made them sit down somehow, you have to try. And then they will solve. Some problems, no matter how hard you try, they will never go away. Just like the camels that stood up and they decided not to sit down at all. And then you think you solved some problems, just like the camel which sat and stood up, the problem will arise back again. So you have to understand one thing, that you can never make all the problems go away in total. That is the nature of this material world. So he says, you need to develop this quality called endurance. If you're waiting for the perfect time in which I will not have a single problem, that is never going to happen. Just like how you lost your sleep for the whole night. Let problems come through life. Some problems, leave and see if they'll go away without you doing anything. Often we react so fast. We jump fast to solve the problem. And we spend a lot of energy in it. And then finally realize, I should not have wasted all this energy. So that's what Brahma is saying here. Endurance is very important. He says, don't spend all the energy of your life trying to solve all the problems in this material world. Because this material world, constant problems come. Then what should we be spending our energy on? Right? Because if you observe people, I kindly request everybody to move a little forward. I think they're trying to make some room there. So if you see in this world, right, since we get up, say whatever time you get up in the morning, it be 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, we're trying to solve one problem after one problem after one problem. What Brahma is saying is, don't spend all your energy on solving problems of life. Then what is that you have to do? This is where the BMW comes into play. He says, dedicate your energy to engaging your BMW. So everybody has to go buy a BMW. BMW stands for body, mind, and words. Manasa, vacha, karmana. He says, Brahma says, engage your body, mind, and words in the service of the Supreme Lord. So I want to tell you another story. How many of you heard the story of Vikramaditya and Betal? Read a comic series when you were a small child, maybe? Okay. So it's an amazing series. In this series, what happens is, there is a king called Vikramaditya, and somebody suggests to him that there is a ghost called Betala who is sitting in a tree in the forest. He's a very, very, very knowledgeable person. He's a great advisor. If you bring him to your kingdom, he will give you so good advices that your whole kingdom will flourish. Everybody in the kingdom will benefit. So Vikramaditya is, he's a person who has dedicated his life for the service of his people. So he decides to go to risk his own life. He finally meets Betala, and then Betala gives one condition. He says, "Absolutely, I'll come and help you, but I will, you have to carry on me on your shoulders. As you're walking, I will narrate some stories to you. And in the end of the story, actually, when I'm narrating the story, you should not open your mouth. Or at any point in the journey, you should not open your mouth. And during this process, I will ask questions. If you know the answer and if you do not answer the question, I will break your head. And if you answer the question, if you open your mouth, I will go back to the tree." Right? It's an interesting scenario, but we are not going to try to solve that problem now. But he tells a very, very nice story. So Betala starts to tell a story about a great princess. There is a princess in a kingdom, and she's very intelligent, the most beautiful person. And the king and the queen had a hard time finding a match for her. The reason is she was one of the most intelligent persons. So they wanted to find an equivalent match. They finally gave up and said, "You find out who your prince is, because we have no capacity to find a person who matches you." So the decision was left to her. And one day, three princes, neighbor princes, come. The first person comes and says, "I would like to marry you." And she says, "What makes you qualified to marry me?" The first person answers, "I have a magic crystal. And my intuition is so great that I can see things in the future, things in the past, and things that are happening far away. And I can find out all the answers. So this is a very, very powerful skill to have." The second prince comes forward and he says, "I have a chariot which takes me anywhere I want. Doesn't matter how many oceans it has to cross or how many mountains it has to cross. I can take you there." That's another powerful means. Then there's the third prince comes and he says, "I have a mystical sword and I can fight any kind of enemy and defeat that enemy." Now the princess is in dilemma, which person to marry. So she says, "Let us wait till tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll let you know who I will marry." So the next day morning, when everybody wakes up, the princess is gone. What had happened was the news that the princess is going to select one of the prince as her groom, went far and wide, and there was a neighboring kingdom. In the neighboring kingdom, there was a mystical person who loved this princess. He put a magic spell in the sleep of this princess, and he carried her bed away very far, like several mountains and oceans away. So the king comes and says, "Okay, you three are here. You figure out and rescue the princess, and we will decide who will get to marry." So simple solution. The first prince looks into the magic ball and says, "The princess is 7 oceans away." The second person takes the chariot, and goes across and finds where the princess is. The third person fights the battle, kills the demon, and get the princess back. Now question to Vikramaditya. Betala is asking, who should marry the princess? Anybody has any ideas here? If you're wrong, your head is going to break. That's where it goes. The person with the magic ball, because they wouldn't know where the princess was if it wasn't for him. But if it wasn't for the person who took him across, or the person who fought the battle, it's a dilemma, right? Without any single one endeavor, nothing would have been successful. So Vikramaditya answers this question. The prince who fought the battle and kill the demon is supposed to win the hand of the princess. He says, while the person who pointed where the princess is, yes, that's a very important piece of the puzzle. And getting across the ocean is an important piece of the puzzle. But the actual action was done by the third prince of rescuing. Let us apply this to our resolutions. We may know that I have to exercise to bring my cholesterol down. We may know that I have to exercise for 25 minutes on a treadmill or an elliptical or whatnot. But if you do not put that into action by getting on the treadmill or the elliptical, it will not bring your cholesterol down. So, in knowledge, there are many things, right? There is thoughts. We talked about BMW, right? There is mind, words, and action. If you don't, yes, the thought is important, the words are important, but if you do not put into action, there is no use at all. So yes, all three princesses had some contribution to it, but the accomplishment was done by the third one. So the point I want to make here is, we may want to come to Krishna, we may have an idea, yes, I have to develop my relationship with Lord, with the Supreme Lord, because I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. But if you do not put that into action, then there is no use to it. You will not win the hand of Krishna. So that's the resolution for I want to present today here for you. Let us put our thoughts, let us put our words, but also let us put our actions in the next several years in service of Krishna. And even better, we're going to have a brand new temple, so you can engage yourself in many ways with Krishna. Now, one may ask a question, what's the benefit for me in doing all this? Brahma answers this one. He says, Jivetayo mukti pade sadhaya bhayak. He says, if you read the last one, right? Of offering your respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. What is the meaning of this rightful claim? There's a great acharya called Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says, say if a person has a very, very rich parent, what does this person have to do to become rich? Yes, but there's not a guarantee that you will become rich by getting a job. Probably you will be able to get some money, yes. Just being obedient to the Father. Also, just being alive, right? Someday the inheritance will come. You don't have to do anything. Don't run away from home. Just stay home, right? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, if you do, with manasa, vachana, karmana, if you do bhakti, earlier we talked, right? There are so many problems that we're trying to solve every day in our life. They all will just go away on their own. You don't have to fight with the camels to make them sit down. Because Krishna will act in many ways with you. He will give you intelligence, he will give you endurance and everything. So what Brahma is saying is, don't spend all your energy trying to solve the problems of this life. Engage yourself, engage your body, your mind, and your words in the service of Krishna, and that will give you Mukti Pada. Krishna's name is Mukti Pada. He's the one who guarantees Mukti to everyone. And another meaning to it, Mukti Pada means Krishna's lotus feet. You will get service or you will get shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So are you all ready to take BMW and come or use a BMW in your life in the service of Krishna? Hari Bol, yes. At this point, we can take some questions. If anybody has any questions or comments.
Only one humble question.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes. Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, Mukti Pada, is it, it's not equal to, it's not equal to.
Yeah.
So, Mukti Pada, is it something like going to Golok Vrindavan after I die?
Very good question. Actually, that is a 2.0. Like this is 101 class, and when you go to 201 class, graduate class, that is the answer. But I can give you a quick answer. We consider Bhagavatam, right? We were reading from Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is like a graduate study. And there is Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is called postgraduate study. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, this verse actually comes again 2 times. And there is a nice conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, he changes this verse. He actually quotes the whole verse. He says, Jivetayo Bhakti Pada. He changes the verse. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, why did you change the verse? He says, for a devotee, Mukti, he rejects Mukti also. He accepts only Bhakti. And that's why I changed it to Bhakti. And that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a different meaning. He says, Mukti Pada doesn't mean you're getting Mukti. Mukti Pada means the Pada, the feet of one who is giving you Mukti, which is Krishna, which is Bhakti again. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay. Anybody else has any other questions? Is Panduranga Gopal Prabhu here? He said he was going to challenge me with one question. Okay. So, yes. Yes, Mataji. Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about those 3 princes, the final one, unless we put into action, it's not really going to result whatever result we want to get. So I just would like for you to comment upon our intentions and, the desires versus actually doing it.
Mm-hmm. So you can think of it like this, right? What are thoughts? Thoughts are subtle sound vibrations in our brain. So any for us to do anything, right? Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, is dhyayato vishyantam sangat sanjayate kamaha. He says everything starts with a thought. Without a thought, nothing comes out. Then the thoughts can manifest as words, which is a non-subtle form of sound vibration is words. And then from words, actions come out. So in a sense, if I understand your question correctly, intentions, you said. Usually intention comes into play when you're looking at the result of your action, right? Sometimes when you say, for example, right, I wrote an exam, I passed or I failed, but what was your intention, right? Did you put enough effort? Did you put enough effort to pass, or you just attempted the exam? So intentions only come into play in the result. But for our purposes, Krishna says, you just put into action and leave the result to me. So as long as we put things into action, let us leave the result to Krishna. And actually, in this verse itself, in the beginning, the first line, it says Tattenu Kampam Susunikshamanam. I thought the class will go longer, that's why I didn't touch that one. There he says, just waiting for Krishna's reciprocation. Wait patiently for Krishna to reciprocate. That's one of the things. Did I answer your question? Yeah.
Partly, yes, Prabhu. Mm-hmm. So my thought was, as you were saying, intentions will come out in the result. So I can speak for myself, probably for most of us here. We may have the intention to really, start this path or continue on this path, but probably due to whatever circumstances, it may not leading to the action. Mm-hmm. So what's the hope for those of us who are still at that intentions phase and not able to put that into action?
Oh, good question. You remember in the title of the slide, I didn't put it here. Pick your series. You want a 3 series of BMW, 4 series, 5 series, 7 series, right? So for us, those who are struggling, Krishna looks at the baby steps that we took, right? Have we taken that baby steps? I'll give a small example, right? Uh, can a poor man build a temple? And can a rich man build a temple? Yes, both of them can build a temple. Poor man will contribute 1 brick, a rich man may contribute 1,000 bricks. But that brick, 1 brick, is as important as the 1,000 bricks in the foundation of the temple. So do not worry about your capacity, worry about what can I do. Don't compare yourself with others. You don't have to compare. You know the story of the squirrel and Hanumanji having an encounter when Ram was building the bridge. Hanumanji said, "Squirrel, move away." But Ram said, "No, he's doing to the best of his capacity." So let's leave that to Krishna. You ask yourself in the mirror resolution, right? You ask yourself, what am I doing? And that rest will Krishna will take care. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, pardon me to asking these questions.
Sure.
I am always confused. Where should I involve myself? Doing charity work like cancer research center or heart center or serving someone or doing Lord Krishna or some other Lord Shiva. So this is making my life difficult. I am not understanding what should I do.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for a beautiful question, right? Especially when we feel that in many areas we can contribute, right? We can contribute our energy, it could be our money, it can be our time or whatnot, right? There are in many areas that we can contribute. So it depends upon our individual what we prefer, right? For example, if you look at the Shastras, they say charity in the mode of goodness, charity in the mode of passion, charity in the mode of ignorance, and many areas, like in the 3 modes of material nature. So, for example, when we're getting charity in the mode of passion, for example, one may be looking, and this is more introspective first, right? One may be saying, I will get name and fame or whatnot. So, Krishna says, forget that. When it comes to charity in the mode of goodness, he comes and says, charity done in the matter of duty. Then charity, uh, to be very, it'll be hard to explain to you in a general population, but I will give a simple answer. Where do you think the need is, and where do you think is the highest benefit? What I mean, I'm trying to hold off my thought because there could be judgment when I give a certain answer. For example, if I say giving to the temple is the highest benefit, and I can clearly quote why that is the highest benefit. Because when temples come into play, they're educating you on the platform of the soul. But does that mean if there's a hungry person, we do not do charity and help that hungry person? Should we only look at him as a soul? No. So it is, Krishna gives us that intelligence to discriminate. Are you following me, Prabhu? It's not 100%, because I think you're looking for a straightforward answer. Do this, and that's it, right? So it will be, yes, we can have an offline discussion. But in general, right, you can take at different levels. Charity to help somebody come out of their physical misery. That's important. But just doing at the physical level is not good enough. Charity at the intellectual level, charity at the soul level is also important. Sorry, bro. It's a vague answer. Yes, Mother. Uh-huh. Am I going over time? Yes. Okay.
Sorry, hopefully it will be short. So, as you gave the example of cholesterol, right?
Mhm.
So if you put in your action, you exercise, and then you have something to look forward to, you go and check your numbers back, and then you see it's coming down, so that motivates you to keep doing that action.
Yes.
So, and we all need motivation because our brain is fed that way,
Yes.
in bhakti, because sometimes we are doing the bhakti and we don't know where it's going, and we are saying mukti, but after death we don't know what's happening to us. How does a devotee keep motivated? And I feel this is a challenge because there are a lot of people who are scientific, science based, who like to see results, and there is really no result that a devotee can show to someone. You're kind of doing bhakti without asking for the results, but how do you motivate someone alongside in bhakti?
Yes. Two things I want to clarify. Is it for yourself or somebody else?
I would say both, but somebody else, especially who's not seeing, who's not a devotee.
Yeah. Um, if it is for somebody else, you being an example for them. For example, right? The main focus of bhakti is self-improvement. So I'll address the first one, right? How can one see that I'm progressing in bhakti? And Krishna and one of the acharyas gives an example. The sign of progress in bhakti is you're getting detached. Say, for example, you used to go to work and work hard and you expect some result out of it. Now you just go to work, you're happy that you did your work, irrespective of the result that is coming out. Say, in the past, you lost $1 and you were so mad because you lost $1. And after understanding the reality of this life, even if you lose the $100, you're not, your bhakti is nourishing you in that way. You're getting detached from material things. That is the sign of progress in bhakti. Now, when it comes to others, when people see you behave composed even in difficult situations or in provoking situations, they'll be like, how can this person be so calm in this situation? They will realize, oh, he or she's performing bhakti, and that will help me in my life. So bhakti is contagious only through our exemplary behavior. When people see bhakti helping us, they are inspired to take bhakti. And that's helpful.
Hare
I
Krishna.
think
Thank
somebody is raising their hand. Okay. Yes. I'll come and talk to you, Mataji. Yes. Okay. 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 Yes, Mataji, go ahead, please. We'll finish it up after this.
You see, we talked about bhakti. To do bhakti, I guess we need very ananya bhav. And how we create that ananya bhav is a big question for many of us. So, if you can guide us some, we would appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll quickly answer this question. There is a nice book called Nectar of Instruction. And then in Nectar of Instruction is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami states there are 6 things that are favorable to bhakti and 6 unfavorable things to bhakti. He says, give up those 6 things that are unfavorable and take up 6 things that are favorable. One of the things that is very favorable to bhakti is association. If you hang out with a group of people who are drunkards, it's only a matter of time when you become drunkard. If you hang out with a group of people who relish bhakti, it's only a matter of time when you take up bhakti. So it's the association that matters. Okay, that's a big start.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I have to. Yeah, there is. Can you pause that?
This one is.
So, first of all, once again, please give a big hand to MohanLila Das Prabhu. I mean, New Year is starting with this kind of clap. We always don't get. So please keep coming. We need that kind of encouragement for all our speakers who really put lots of effort. They're extremely qualified. Their understanding, their depth is immense. So talk to offline if you have any more question. And Sanjeev, yeah, you should surely talk to him offline. So, and again, you asked very difficult question today. We have question from doctors. We have question from IIT toppers. It's like everybody is going after him, but he answered very well. So once again, wish you a very, very happy Krishna conscious, happy New Year to all of you. Hari Bol! And what a wonderful crowd today. This is one of the best turnout we have on the New Year Day. We have our committee members. I see Dr. Gupta ji, Manju ji, Praveen ji, Preeti ji, and Asa ji, and so many of you are all there. So, and a lot of you who has been helped us to come to this stage. And today is very important day otherwise too. Our countdown for the new temple begins today. How about that? So we dreamed it for years. We strategy after strategy, plan after plan. But today I'm very, very thankful to all of you and to Sri Radha Syam Sundar. With their mercy, the project is almost near complete. There are plenty of opportunities. Once again, we can't thank enough to Dr. Gupta and Manju ji for what they have done, and a lot of you what you have done. So if you want, you can go inside, you can visit, but it should be a guided tour. Somebody should walk you around, and you will be very happy to see what the construction is. The announcement, the temple inauguration is scheduled on April 19th, 2024. So please mark your calendar. And as this temple inauguration is coming, there are plenty of opportunity for you to participate. You can do a lot of volunteer service. You can contribute. We have opportunities to beautiful things like their kitchen appliances. You want to pick one or two appliances, you can do that. You want to do something bigger, like you want to sponsor deity, you want to sponsor dress, you want to sponsor varieties of things. The pick and choose. We have a catalog. What Prabhu was saying, it doesn't matter whether you build our entire temple or put a brick. For us, it's all the same. What matters is that your endeavor, how much effort you take it. So with that, I really encourage you, please join me. We need money. We need around $500,000 to complete the rest of the construction. And we need this within 3-4 months time. So please help us whatever way you can. So today, again, we have every Sunday, this program is possible with the sponsorship that is made by a lot of you. And we also are starting one unique sponsorship. So we have fixed sponsorship, but at the same time, we are starting a sponsorship for entire Sunday program. So the devotees who sponsor on their family, on the behalf of their family, we offer morning aarti, evening aarti, and every time the pujari takes care. And today, again, I'm very happy to announce that this is the first program, and we got a sponsorship, and one of the best from our community who has served for many years, and they are Amit Kumar, Rinku Kumar, and Asana and Akshay. So, and they are sponsoring. Please give a big hand. If Premananda Mataji would have been there, she would have said that Akshay, when the temple started, I think Akshay was playing in her lap, right? Come here. You come. So here is the guy. Give a big hand. And now he's a very grown-up man, and he's very successful. He completed engineering, and now you are going for masters, are you? And then PhD or no? Okay, so he wants to do. So he wants to do masters. He's super successful and equally polite, and so you are sponsoring. Because of him we are having this. So we want to thank you for doing that, and the temple debt is on you. All right. All right. So please take prasad. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All right. So we have also there's 5, 6 others Sunday Feast sponsorship. I will call out their names and then we'll give the prasadam to them. The first one is Nina Chakravarti Mataji seeking blessings for the devotee. And Banita Goel Mataji, again, blessings for the family. Rakesh Kumawat Prabhu is for their kids, Andan Prasadam they are doing. Subhansu Sunilji seeking devotees' blessings. Tripti and Manindra Prabhu, again, New Year blessings for the family. And Abhay Kumar Prabhu seeking devotees' blessing. So, all these wonderful devotees had made this today's Sunday Feast sponsorship possible. So, together, let's chant once for their name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as you chanted this Maha Mantra in today's, on every January 1st, we do uniquely in this temple, we chant around 6 million names, and this is for our community. So for the welfare of our community, there's so much going on around. So at least with this, there's a peace and prosperity around the people, and they feel connected with our temple. So right now, I request all of you to take, there is a japa bit, please stay, please chant a little bit more and help us come to that many rounds. Before I conclude, I also want to thank to Prasadam team. So this is all possible because there is a lot of people who does the services around the temple, and these are some of the people who are involved in cooking, cleaning, and they are Krishna Murari Prabhu, Rasika Manjari Mataji, Madhukar Prabhu, Sundari Leela Mataji, Anita Mataji, Srikant Prabhu, Sandeep Prabhu, Sachi Kumar Prabhu, Gadadhar Chandra Prabhu, Chandrasekhar Prabhu, and also there are other people like Sarvanan Prabhu, Umesh Prabhu, Srikant Prabhu. These are all doing the supporting activities. So please give a big hand because without this it's not possible. So with that, MohanLila Prabhu.
So Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I want to answer your question. Sorry, because when we have so much crowd, I don't like to leave without the answer. Often, I got some time to think about it. Often, when we have a dilemma in our life, we like to look at what the acharyas did in the past. So something, I was contemplating on it, and I thought, okay, what did our previous acharyas do? There is one acharya called Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, when he decided to leave his life as a prime minister under the Nawab Hussain Shah, he had a lot of money. And what he did is, he gave 50% of his charity to the purpose of the soul, meaning for temples and excavating Vrindavan and stuff like that. 25% he put for emergencies, and 25% he gave it out to people in general to better their life, like friends, family, relatives, and whatnot. Maybe that could be a good example. I just wanted to answer that question. Okay. One more announcement. We have a very, very senior devotee from India coming. His name is His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. Yes, he is one of the big leaders in ISKCON in India, and he is instrumental in preaching Krishna consciousness mostly to the youth communities. Several thousands of youth were given the process of bhakti, and he's very good at engaging, in speaking to youth and engaging youth. So he'll be here on the 3rd. He'll be giving a class in the temple hall on the 3rd evening, 6 o'clock. Please, if you can join, please do join. And he will, every morning at 7:30 we have Bhagavatam class online. He'll be also giving class on the 3rd and the 4th. If you want to join the Bhagavatam class on YouTube, you should be able to hear from him on YouTube. Please. 4th is in person. Yes, 4th is in person in the temple. It is 7:30 morning. You can all take blessings of the deities and then honor the prasadam downstairs. Srila Prabhupada ki. I'll recite the prasadam prayer. On January 1st, we can recite the prayer. You can repeat after me as you're taking the darshan. Mahaprasade Govinde नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्पपुण्यावितं राजन् विश्वासुन्नेव जायते
विश्वासुनेव जायते
शरीरार्विद्याजाल
शारीरात विद्याजा
जोडेन्द्रियत्राहेका
जोड़ेन्द्रियता है का
जीवे फेले विषय सागरे
जीवे फले विशेषागरे
तारु मध्ये जीवोति
तारा मते
लोभोर्मोहेषु दुर्मति ताके जैता कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बड़ो दयामय कोरी बार जीव जाय सो प्रसादन दिल्लो बाय शेयन्नामृतोपा श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुणगा प्रेमे दाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जैनी माय जैनीताय जैनी माय जैनीताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री श्री राधा माधव महाप्रसादम की